What is up, Comic Fandom? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night, so that means this is at week's end. It's a spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. There's some hot topics to touch on tonight, as well as the Moon Knight show kicking off. Morbius dropped in theaters and a ton of good books to talk about. So before we go any farther, check this out. Huge shout out to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the channel for the channel member giveaway. That Legion loot box will be given away tonight with an approximate value of $492. So this is the biggest one yet. We'll go through what Big Time Collectibles has sent as well as the other stuff that's packed in there. Also, a big shout out to Justin Comics on Instagram, another one of the channel sponsors. If you need anything cleaned or pressed, hit him up. Use that promo code WeAreLegion or Panda Pack and take advantage of the special offer he's running currently. So that offer does change over time. So I wanted to make sure that keep it generic. And also, since tonight we are going to be doing the drawing for the Legion Loot giveaway, I do want to say a special thank you to all the channel members out there. We're going 61 members strong, and these cards are not updated at all. But for the most part, they're right. They're close enough. They'll work. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and also hit that join button. Read through some of those details, see if channel membership is something that you might be interested in, and get in all the fun, including the loyalty badges next to your name and the custom emojis. And there's even more than those at this point. So I need to do some updating on my end. So let's not waste any time. Let's bring in my heterosexual life partner from the Great White North, none other than the comic vet himself.
That's me.
That is you. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that we're starting a little early.
Yeah, I like the little early too. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. I have no kids in the house with me tonight due to it being here in Augusta. It's the Masters Week. For those that don't know, that's the Augusta National, the most exclusive, highest rated golf course or whatever in the entire world is right here local in Augusta. And every year the Super Bowl for golf is held. And it's such a big deal, and it's such a private affair that it's not even part of the Professional Golfing Association. It's actually a step above that. So imagine if the NFL played all year long to see who won, and they really didn't care, because there's one game that actually means more to them than their entire league does. That's what this event is. And it's the busiest week of the year for myself. The kids actually are sent away for the week so that me and my wife both can work some obscene hours every day and just handle business. And because of that, we're able to start early and get to bed early.
I just want to give a shout out, since we're talking about Augusta, the Augusta Book Exchange. That door looks fantastic.
It does,
thanks for sharing that on IG. I'm glad to see that Paul. Oh, there is. I'm glad to see that Paul got that taken care of. God bless, my man. I hope that everything goes well for the rest of 2022 for you.
Yeah. So for those that are in the chat that aren't in the know, a few weeks back, some real POSs busted the front door of my LCS, forced their way inside and ripped off the cash register. And the community came together like butt cheeks and all chipped in so that the Augusta Book Exchange wasn't out of pocket for that. And today he shared where he put the final touch on the new door with the, what do you call it? Decal?
Yeah, their logo.
The awesome logo.
The decal?
Decal. Yeah, it was awesome to see that. It looks fantastic. It looks really good. So like I mentioned, we will be doing the drawing for the Legion loot tonight. I'll show that off here in just a few minutes. Also have some stuff that we'll be throwing to the live audience. If you're not a channel member, don't feel bad, because there is still stuff for you to get a shot at winning tonight. And as we go through the night, I'll set all of that up. But real quick, I guess I'll show off what's in the giveaway. So if you're in the live audience, you can be up to win one of the Batman Beyond the White Knight cover A's that a lot of people had a difficult time getting their hands on. Paul Rogers made sure that there was a couple that can be sent out to the community.
Very nice.
So big shout out to the Augusta Book Exchange. Again, always going above and beyond. And then the actual Legion loot tonight is sick with it. So channel sponsor sent over, as Panda pointed out, TMNT number 124. This is a wraparound by Raymond Gabe, which I had to look up, but it's actually like a $35 book. Carla Cohen Batgirls number 1, which is the Big Time Collectibles exclusive as well. This is the minimal trade dress. And then we have the Cowboy Bebop number 1, Miko Suyon, foiled out goodness.
That is incredible.
To the max. And then Silver Surfer Rebirth, Miko Suyon trade dress. Absolutely love that cover with Marvel on it.
Yeah, that was your hot pick a few weeks back.
It was, and it continues to be good. And luckily, we actually have the next issue to touch on tonight. It was part of this week's drops. We've got the We Live brick. The brick.
Love it. Claim.
What's included in here, Volume 1 in trade paperback form, the free Comic Book Day edition that dropped this past free Comic Book Day, as well as We Live number 1 black, multiple covers, We Live number 1 white, multiple covers, and multiple of the trading cards for each character that came out with it as well. So it's complete, get you up to current, We Live, and that's what's happening with that. And then icing on the cake, big shout out to channel member House of L Comics here on YouTube and on Instagram. Be sure to go check him out. Him and I worked out a deal on this and got it included in this month's Legion loot as well. So that's the JLA Avengers, very elusive, way underprinted Heroes Initiative edition of JLA Avengers by Kurt Busiek and George Perez.
So my LCS still has their copy at $300 Canadian.
Yeah, so this is a approximate value of this trade paperback is $250.
Yeah,
they go for more. They go for a couple of dollars less, depending on where and when you find one, whatnot. But when I valued out the box, which when I got it all together, I valued it out and I didn't look back then. But no matter what, this box is well above and beyond, I feel, in value for
it's incredible. I think that just the We Live bundle alone would be more than sufficient. Yeah, but again, you're going above and beyond for your channel members, man.
So let's say hey to some of these people. We got first up in the chat, none other than Pops himself. Let's go, Legionnaires. Mr. DJ Links is in the building, throwing all those custom emojis. I appreciate that. Even you see at the end there, Chris, down there by you where it says ABX. That's the newest channel member emoji. Got the Augusta Book Exchange representing, as well as channel sponsor Big Time Collectibles up in there. I tried to edit the names of them because on StreamYard, they don't show up as the emojis. They show up as a name, so I actually can see what people are putting up there. Got company over, so I'll be popping in and out. Popping in and out is your specialty, DJ, and that's why we love you. For all your popping in and out needs, be sure to check out DJ Links. Vincent McLean, the comic machine, is in the building. What up? I'm here. Please enter me for the giveaway. LOL. I want to read that book. No need, no worry. We'll be throwing up, what is it called? The hashtag generator thing at some point. Where do I collect my winnings? Yeah, I have a feeling that you have a better than average chance of winning, Flo. You've won everything lately.
He's hot right now.
Yeah, and all these channel members, I appreciate y'all popping in. Digger Jim is in the building. What is up, my friend? Mark Spector Comics. Hello, hello. Jade Q. We got Free Energy chilling like some villains. Flash 6792 in the building. What's going on, everyone? Mr. Chip Gettler, I'm in the wrong chat, Flow. That was Link Squad, not Legion. Yeah, he just won a $250 hot toy from DJ Links. He just won a raffle or something. He's nonstop.
That's karma, though. That's karma.
Yeah. Good things happen to good people, man. Wheelchair Superhero 87. What is going on, brother? Pocan Joe, how are you doing tonight? That's true, Chip. Can't get greedy. Stephen C., what is going on? Circumstances up in here. Panda Awesome 316. We said hey to Paul. JQ is in the building. We got Tyler, a.k.a. Lil Glass Tootsie's in the building. Warlord, what is going on, my friend? White Tiger Triple C is up in here. Atting everybody. Get you some.
Ruby.
Putting in the man hours. Nick's Kicks and Comics. Ayo. Mr. Beckerman, how are you tonight? And we got a new channel member. Mr. Warlord himself has joined the Legion. I definitely appreciate that, my friend. And if y'all didn't know, I just unboxed a mystery box from him that was
Mhm.
ridiculously overvalued not long ago, and a lot of that stuff is was ridiculously huge. I wasn't familiar with a lot of it, which I had fun putting some of the captions or whatever, learning how to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy potatoes, was I wrong or something on it? Like when I added it up
I remember
after.
you're like, it's a good box. And then you put the value of over 120 on a $60 box.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's right.
like
It was 60
one
shipped,
take
and the
mark. This
value,
is what happens.
yeah, the value came out to like 134 or something like that. It was
Incredible.
yeah,
Good for
insane.
Warlord. Good for
Yeah.
Warlord.
Yeah, he put out a very successful round of mystery boxes and was able to secure the grail he was after. And that's the coolest part, seeing that happen. And it was awesome that he sent out the keychains with his logo and the Batman Adventures on the back of it. So you can actually like commemorate like being a part of helping this person chase their grail. That was really cool. So I still got that keychain over here. I thought that was a nice touch. Which, if you think about it, it cost some money to get those made, and he included
Mhm.
it, but wasn't built into the cost. So we got people trash talking everybody for the supremacy of the box. Congrats, Ruben, on the 200 subs. Awesome, man. That means you owe us an original piece. That was the deal that we did with you per you. For every 100 subs, you're going to be laying down some of those sick lines. I have a Ruben original.
Do you?
I do. He AOK'd me one when I hit 500 subs. It's actually, it sits up in the spare bedroom where I can see it.
Again, another one of the great guys in comic community.
Mm-hmm. Is that what,
Yeah.
35 US, Chris?
The 300 is probably in the neighborhood like 240 to 250 US, 300 Canadian. Yeah.
It's like $1.50. Get it for me, man.
Yeah. Send me the money.
Smoochies, boochies to you too, my man. What is going on, Miss Tootsie? I'm scrolling down. I don't want to leave anybody out. I always feel bad when I leave people out. Can you pronounce this for me?
Snoogans Nick's Kicks.
Okay, just making sure.
It's Jay from Jay and Silent
Yeah.
Bob.
All right, so dude, I don't even be honest with you. I'm having such a good day. I had actually kept up with some topics because I made the mistake of waking up early all throughout the week. So I would look at my Google News feed at what was going on, and I would kind of just share headlines, and there was a couple of occasions where my Instagram post turned into a hot topic chat room. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is actually kind of fun.
Stirring the pot.
But all I was doing, I didn't realize it because I never normally do that. So I did not expect it to happen. And sure as hell it happened. But there was some interesting stuff. And what I actually want to bring up first is the director of Shazam made a statement in an interview about someone asked him about potentially would he be interested in working on the Superman film. And he, without a shadow of a doubt, said no, thank you, because Superman fans are too picky. And in my mind, the way that I translated that, what that equates to are Superman fans can be toxic.
It's again because he was the first comic book, first one to actually have a serious movie done, in my opinion. The Christopher Reeve films. This what happens when you have a legendary actor and a legendary director and Richard Donner come together along with Marlon Brando, and they put out what they did. The bar is up here. And toxic, I don't know if I would say it's toxic. It's just they expect Superman to walk that fine line, that moral compass leads him, and I guess there's still fallout from the snap of Zod's neck in the end.
Yeah, I think it was just too much for people to watch Superman grow into that, because having seen I hate just to start a Snyder Cut conversation because I can easily get on a rabbit hole, but just taking the 3 films that he did as a whole, we see him grow into that. That was kind of his vision for it, but not having the full vision at the beginning of it, especially with how many years that it took to come out, it's easy to lose sight of that. But just thinking of doing a Superman movie in general, and even looking at Superman in comics, how he's not really leading the top spot these days, he's not commanding the attention that he used to. People
but his stories right now are some of the best in comics, period.
I do agree. Action Comics specifically is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was interesting that I guess it's like the same thing's kind of happening with the fandom for Lord of the Rings with the announcement of this Amazon series. You're seeing a lot of pushback from people that I guess are just diehard fans and they haven't seen the show yet, just see the trailer and they're seeing certain things in it that are just throwing up red flags in their mind to the point that they spend a lot of time being vocal and speaking out against it being any good, and you're ruining this and that and everything. And just the idea of doing that, like I'm guilty of doing it for some stuff when I see something that just rubs me the wrong way on the surface level. And it really just made me think like,
Not you.
yeah, but it made me think like, I wonder how impactful that is to the actual people creating these. Like there's like, he said, would you be interested in like, put it down into like, just break it all down. Are you interested in cashing a check for a job? Not that job. Like you know what I mean? That's what he said in essence. Like that's not worth the heartache. Like that's crazy to think about.
Well, personally, I would like to see Zack Snyder continue the story of Kal-El, the Henry Cavill take on Superman that we've had so far. The Superman that struggles with his identity just because he's torn between two fathers, and just let it grow from there. And yes, again, but it's controversial, right? A lot of people struggle with it. I struggled with it at first as well until I sat back and thought about it and like, okay, was he willing to sacrifice a bunch of people not to take someone else's life? So in the end, he either helps have the hand in murdering a family, including children, or wiping Zod out and stopping the madness that potentially happened for that 20 minutes worth of destruction.
And it balanced out the scene from earlier in the movie when he saved all the kids in the bus and had the heart-to-heart with his dad and asked him, what was I supposed to just let him die? And his dad's not, he's trying to guide him without steering him. He's like, I don't know, maybe. Like he didn't give him a direct yes or no, you know? So it balances inside of the own movie. I mean, it made perfect sense to me, but it absolutely shocked me. I highlighted Pop's comment because Pops and me were in the theater together for the back then. They had the 12 midnight releases. They didn't have like these early showings on Thursday, but Pops was right there. My oldest daughter at the time, she'll be 15 this year, so however many years ago, she was sitting in my lap to a packed theater, and I verbally yelled, "Oh shit!" It absolutely shocked me. Like I did not see it coming.
I remember the theater being packed for the Man of Steel and the silence that came out after he did it. And then obviously Superman screamed, at that point. And it was just like, think about it, just gut wrenching. Like Henry Cavill to me is just the perfect Superman. I don't know where DC's going to move forward with this, but I've said this many times on your show, like give Cavill the costume, give him the suit, give him the cape. It's his. Again, the growth of Superman to the point where we see the final scenes of Zack Snyder's Justice League, where the confidence is there when he lands in front of Cyborg and says, "What do you want me to do?" The part where it comes down on his shoulder, the confidence of Superman, is there. And it took a while for him to get there. That the character that is, and now we're not going to have it. So I get that director, like, they're picky or whatever. I'm sorry, but as a Spider-Man fan, I'm picky too. There's more bad Spider-Man films than there are good ones, as far as I'm concerned, just because I'm picky about it.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I also don't know if I would want that director. Like, I'm not familiar with what else he did, but the style of Shazam would not, in my mind, fit the style of a Superman book.
No.
I'd rather
someone with a big vision.
Yeah, the level of stuff that Superman needs to be pitted against to make it a decent Superman movie is like, it has to be some real like dangerous level stuff, like next level stuff. Because
it has to be Omega level.
Yeah, that would require like dropping the little kid humor out of it in my mind. It's not needed. I think
there's nothing wrong with a Superman film not for children. Like it doesn't have to. Like they tried that with Superman Returns. Again, Brandon Routh, great Superman, lousy script because they try to make it too, family friendly, and it just went off the rails in the end.
Yeah, imagine Cavill on Warworld.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
DJ popping out, be right back.
It's like Superman on Warworld. The ladies would be lining up to see Henry Cavill like half naked.
Yeah, Matt Reeves Superman, that would be intense. But I can easily picture Matt Reeves Batman existing inside of a world with the Superman that we've seen for the past decade, almost 2 decades.
I think Superman needs a visionary director. Zack Snyder is that one, in my opinion. Before he put the suit on, it was a beautiful film to look at. A lot of it was, the coastline stuff with the ship and everything when he was being a bartender. Like, that's some beautiful stuff. So I thought Denis Villeneuve might be, if Superman were to go more in space, if it was Brainiac, that kind of thing, like Villeneuve could be someone that can handle it. But again, like,
oh my God, the guy who did Dune,
the guy who did Dune, the guy who did Blade Runner,
Blade Runner, dude, that would be intense. That would be really intense. Like, just seeing how
he could do Kingdom Come, as far as I'm concerned,
that he works with, and whatever like concept art people that he works with, just imagining taking that level of production to a war world and just putting Cavill into that would be insane. Nick Cage, the greatest Superman that never made it.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
All right. Next thing I wanted to bring up, so the Blue Beetle movie has been talked about for a couple of years, and they didn't have anything other than just like a concept photo to show us at DC Fandom last year. But they announced this week that Sharon Stone has been added to the cast as the villain of something court. I forgot who it was. Okay. But Sharon Stone was added to the Blue Beetle upcoming movie, and that was
interesting choice.
Interesting. And then the only other thing, which this is the one I wasn't sure if I even wanted to get into, but the actor who plays Shang-Chi, like, it was plastered everywhere that he's refused. It was written in the headline, he's refusing to sign comic books that he is deeming racist, Shang-Chi comic book. So I would word it, he's chosen not to sign certain books that he deems racist.
Mm-hmm. So all of you that are watching, just forget about the stuff from the 70s. I get it. If he wants to be a man of principle, God bless him. I've been through autograph lines where even athletes chose not to sign those particular cards for whatever reasons, or images for certain reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of hockey players don't like signing photos of them in fisticuffs. They don't like it. And so be it. And if he decides he doesn't want to sign a certain cover because, his culture could deem it, insulting. Okay. But there's a million and one Shang-Chi books out there.
There's a really long, drawn out back and forth conversation that can be had on this topic.
Yep.
The bottom line that I think is the most important is kind of what you touched. Like, anyone can sign whatever they want to or not sign whatever they want to, unless they're contractually obligated to do it going into something, which he's not, so he doesn't have to. The only thing that I actually am curious about, which I would ask everybody to kind of ask yourself and think about it, where would you draw the line? Like, if you could talk to, using this just as an example, talk to him, what issue and back can we not bring? And that's just for this comic, because like when it comes to literature, comic books as a whole, pick any one of them. Take Detective Comics #1. Like, if you're familiar with the cover, you are. If you're not, go look it up. Take Detective Comics #1. Are you going to throw that out? And also, like, for those that are like going to, because there's a lot of people that just blindly jump to defend or blindly jump to attack a topic. For those that would blindly jump to defend this, how many do you own? How many do you sell? Are you okay with profiting off the culture and sensitivities of an entire race, but you're going to like attack people who are upset about signing this? It's such a big topic to actually unpack. When I'm just judging, like, you have to go back to that post and see all the discussions on there. Because at the time, Shang-Chi was a progressive book, pushing to have an Asian American lead and everything, who was breaking away from his father and all that kind of stuff. And it was a very progressive book. So, like, there's the argument, just like, are you just going to discredit these guys' work, pushing the needle forward, trying to do a good thing, and say you didn't do good enough, so screw you? Like, so there's a lot of points to it.
It's just, sure, we finally had an Asian superhero come out of it in Shang-Chi, but again, like, if he doesn't like the way certain characters are drawn, like if he has issues with their eyes, or just however they're set up on the cover, whatever
stereotypes of the time.
If he doesn't enjoy that, if that's the way he was raised, here in Toronto, then God bless him. Like I said, there are a million and one different things to have him potentially sign of Shang-Chi. that to me,
Yeah, and
I
again,
like as someone who put something in front of someone and said, I can't sign that. Like I put a hockey card in front of Wayne Gretzky and he said, I can't sign that card. He decided to sign that card only once for his oldest son. I'm like, okay, well, I have another one here. It was a Team Canada card. He signed that, no problem.
Now here's
So
the devil's advocate thing, and it's
Mhm.
not about this actor. It's not about Shang-Chi books. It's about the concept behind it. Because no matter how far back, you can pick any comic book as long as it's been around for long enough. You could take it, just follow it back, and you're going to hit a point where you're offending somebody in
Mhm.
some way. So that's the part. Like
I think that
where do
can be
you
done
draw
with
the
any type of medium. It doesn't necessarily even have to be comic books.
yeah? So where
Even
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Bonanza,
Like
like
where do you draw the line?
would the Asian community be insulted by Bonanza? Like a lot of people could consider that to be an American classic.
Now, and here's the thing, like in that comment section, again, like I agree that he should be able to sign anything. I just think it's interesting to kind of think about and talk about like the little nuances that go along with that.
Mhm.
Because in that comment section, an Asian American left a comment saying that he was upset by that news because he collects Shang-Chi. He's not offended by Shang-Chi. Now, think about that. If you're an Asian American who you enjoy this book because it was written for you to be able to see yourself in this character. Now you're holy grail. You know what I mean? You're like it's just taking away things from some of the fans that you're trying to defend at the same time. It's kind of weird. It's a very packed topic, but like you said, it all comes down to the individual has the right to sign or not sign something. But again, that's not the bigger picture that it got me thinking about. What is going on, House of L Comics? Gave you a huge shout out at the beginning of the show for making sure this giveaway is as awesome as it is this week. So everybody, be sure to check out House of L Comics. It's got a lot going on here on YouTube, Instagram, whatnot, all of that good stuff. If what are they called? Moderators
Mhm.
can moderate some of those links into the chat. That would be fantastic. All right, last thing that I have on this list, and this is going to be all you. We're gonna talk Morbius at the front of the show, talk about some books, do some giveaways, and then
Sure.
we'll talk Moon Knight toward the end in case there's people that don't necessarily want to have Moon Knight spoiled. I don't think anyone cares about Morbius.
I was gonna say I don't know if we can spoil Moon Knight. Did anyone really know what happened?
It was a long trailer.
Well, here's the thought. Would he only sign something created by an Asian person? Is he only not want to sign something from someone that wasn't Asian descent? I
I
think it
don't
was
think that
just
the creator's ethnicity went into play
Mhm.
with his decision. It was just the cultural insensitivity of the drawing, the stereotypical drawing of some of the Asian characters in it, where Shang-Chi's not. Fu Manchu is like a long-standing Marvel villain who is drawn like the classic
Yeah.
mustache and the small eyes. He look very menacing. Again, look at the cover of Detective Comics issue number 1. That's kind of the stereotypical Fu Manchu drawing. It was, and that was also a sign of its time with like the communism scare and all that kind of stuff. It was just in a sense almost a little bit of propaganda inside of it.
What about his Christmas album? Yes,
Uh,
that exists. It exists. William Hung.
they have always been quality and inclusive.
Just again, growing up in Toronto. Toronto really is a melting pot of a lot of different cultures. The Asian community is a very large one in Toronto, and as is like a Jewish African, I don't want to say African American, but a Jamaican community, and obviously you have white people, but there's a Polish community, a Jewish community, even a Jewish Russian community, all within Toronto. It really is one of those places where when they landed in Toronto, a lot of people just stuck around, and that's why Toronto to me is special that way. It really represents what Canada is because of so many different cultures, because Canada is actually a very young country, very small populace, and it's just one of these countries where there's only maybe 2 or 3 or possibly 4 generations where you could say, yeah, that's how far back I go in Canada. I'm one of those. I can go back at least 4 generations being a part of this country. Before that, then it's, Northern Europe, a part of the UK. but I know him and Shang-Chi, the actor's name is Simu Liu, I believe. I know him and his family landed in Toronto, and when he was almost a teenager or in his middle teens, and he got to experience all that. But I know that he's incredibly dedicated to his family, and that his parents have a very important role and important voice in his life. And if because of that is something that he just doesn't like the look of, then he doesn't want to sign it, then it is what it is.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Okay.
Tell me about Morbius. So I have not seen Morbius. Morbius dropped this week to incredibly mixed reviews, horrible scores on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics. And the audience score, as per always with superhero movies that get tanked by critics, always the audience scores are always a little bit higher up than the critic score because you have the whole I had fun, but it's not a good movie people. They get on there and they rate it by their enjoyment, not by like the same standards that a critic would.
Yeah, Digger Jim. Yeah, he was on Kim's Convenience, and that was a show that was based primarily in Toronto, filmed in Toronto with a bunch of Asian people and their families that ran a convenience store. Anyways, I know you and I had this thing in common. We don't really give a crap what the critics say. If it's a movie that we enjoy, we're going to defend that movie, and we'll also say if it's crap, it truly will be crap. I'm somewhere in the middle in this movie. To me, if they release a director's cut of this movie, I think will change everything.
What is your stance on director's cuts, Chris?
I don't like them. Why weren't they just originally done? Like, why would the studio interfere that much? I think this movie is probably 20-25 minutes too short. There's a lot of stuff I feel that hit the cutting room floor. This is a movie you don't have to go see in the theater. It's not a part of the MCU.
Who's the villain in it?
His childhood friend.
Does he get turned into a vampire also? Just a vampire fight?
Yes. So basically it's it's just Morbius versus, it's the Joker versus Doctor Who all the way through. That's all I kept thinking.
Is it Matt Smith or something?
Yeah, it's Matt Smith. Yeah. And to be honest, they actually delivered good performances in it. They tried. Jared Leto tried. It's just it suffers from the Superman Return syndrome. It's just a weak script.
So the end
they tried too much they just forced it too much. They used special effects that were fantastic 25 years ago when The Frighteners was released.
I love that movie, dude.
It is. If it wasn't for The Frighteners, we wouldn't be talking about Lord of the Rings. Look at it that way. Lord of the Rings got him, or pardon me, The Frighteners and the work that he did with The Frighteners got him the chance to do Lord of the Rings.
It wasn't Dead Alive before The Frighteners with the zombie radio baby?
You can call it what you want.
I love when he fires up the lawnmower.
The Frighteners stars a handsome Canadian, but either way.
Yeah.
Morbius, 2 out of 5. Two Maple Leafs out of 5. It's something that if people want to wait at home and watch it on streaming or whatever form, I'm not going to be out there, hey, you're missing out, go see it on the big screen. No, the special effects.
There's one special. Where do you think I would rate it?
Oh, red.
Red?
Red to orange. Red to orange.
Red to orange. Okay.
Red to orange, depending if you saw it, depending how much you paid for it. If you went
catch it on something that it comes out on eventually.
The sonar effect was cool in some scenes, cheese in another, but again, Affleck did it. As exactly.
They could have really committed and did the hand suckers instead of the vampire teeth.
They could have went the animation way.
So I'm curious though, because I do know
I will
the
say
after
this.
credit scene, Vulture shows up.
We'll talk about that. But I just want to touch what Vince has said here. It's not as good as the first Venom movie, and I'm not saying that movie is great by any stretch, but it is better than Carnage.
Okay.
I will say that, and I will defend that Morbius is actually better than Let There Be Carnage.
I'll never watch Let There Be Carnage again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even worth taning on and fast forwarding to the fight scene even.
So to me, the post-credit scene, there's 2 of them.
There's 2?
Yes, there's 2. The most important one, The second one is basically his girlfriend gets killed by Matt Smith's vampire, and like a drop of Morbius's blood touches her lip, and then she's dead, and the movie moves on, and God bless her, she's off to heaven. And then the final scene is her opening her eyes, so we all know what's going on there. The post-credit scene that everyone's talking about is the first major one is Batman showing up into this world. Yeah, right. Michael Keaton shows up.
Oh, you actually had
he'll always be Batman.
Yeah.
So the ripple that happens in the sky in No Way Home happens in this film. Now, but this movie does not talk about any kind of time frame, like what's happening anywhere. It does happen in New York. At many points, I really thought that we were going to see a spider web show up. There's no Spider-Man poster the way that there was in the trailer that says murderer in front of Andrew Garfield. That doesn't happen in the movie. The scene that I'm talking about starts off with that purple ripple in the sky that happens at the end of No Way Home. And then it cuts inside a cell, which looks like it's possibly Riker's. And then out of nowhere, Michael Keaton appears in this as Toons. And he's looking around. He looks in the mirror, looks at his face. I kind of wonder, is it someone else that's now occupying his body? A la Dan Slott. But anyways, he bangs on the jail cell looking for help. And the next scene is they cut to a CNN broadcast where the broadcaster says, and this person just randomly showed up out of thin air inside of a jail, and he doesn't belong there. So so the people are doing what they can to get him out. And that's the end of the scene. Then a few more credits. And then the next one happens where we see more Dr. Michael Morbius driving the way that Dr. Strange drove, in a souped up car, driving way too fast in the middle of nowhere, driving away from New York City. Again, no timeline mentioned, no idea where and when this happened. And all of a sudden he comes to a oceanside area, and he jams the brakes, hops out randomly, just starts walking through the weeds, stops, and then there's this big tornado effect. And what happens is the camera turns around from Jared Leto, looks up, and it's Vulture in full costume. I don't know how he got that costume, because when he arrived, he was just in his red jumpsuit being a prisoner. But he basically stands in front of him and says, Spider-Man's being a problem, and we need to team up to do something about this Spider-Man problem. And randomly, the guy who was supposed to be the hero through all this entire movie, helping innocent people, trying to help people because he's a doctor, says, yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Why?
Exactly. That's the part where people want to talk about that. To me, that was the worst part of the movie. It made no sense. This is a guy that's supposed to be helping people. To me, Morbius is a true avatar of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You have Dr. Michael Morbius, who wants to help people dealing with his own condition in Marvel Comics, and the flip side of that is Dr. Jekyll, or it goes into Mr. Hyde, which is Morbius the vampire, going around killing bad people, sucking their blood, blah, blah, blah. And the post-credit scene is the Vulture showing up in full costume saying that Spider-Man's a problem. Let's team up, setting up, obviously, the Sinister Six. There's no mention of Kraven in this. Sad, because Kraven's my favorite rogue.
They've shown some still images from the set of filming Kraven.
Right. But yeah, to me, that post-credit scene was really weird. It didn't sync up with the movie at all. I just kind of wonder if Sony decided just to quickly film this after they saw what happened in No Way Home.
It's a technical term, Jason.
Yeah, and then it's blah, blah, blah.
I said it today.
I could say yada, yada, yada.
Guys, I noticed after I recorded, I'm like, did I
did.
Blah, blah, blah that?
You did. And you're like, I'm recommending something that I'm only going to read digitally.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be getting the, I did mention I'm getting the, I'm going to be, my reader copy will be digital, but I'm getting that Miko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need that Miko.
But we'll leave it at that. If you guys want to know what he's talking about, After this live stream, check out Two Cool Guys Who I Picks over on my channel. This episode was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Mark likes to challenge my editing. My
wife tried to challenge your editing today.
Yes. You like that plane?
That's why I put all those laugh emojis. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, dude, this is getting better.
But Morbius 2 out of 5. Not as good as Venom. If you enjoyed Venom, God bless you. I thought it was just okay, but it's definitely better than Carnage.
Well, hey, look who's here.
Oh.
Sounds like the mediocre concept for a movie turned into a mediocre movie. Who saw that coming? What is going on, Ryan?
Hope that you're all right, my man.
Glad to see you in the chat. Miss you as always. So we got 30 people showing in the live stream. So let's go ahead and give away a book, guys.
Let's do it.
Go ahead and put in the chat hashtag. We're going to keep it simple. It's going to be hashtag ABX because that is my my drug dealer, aka my comic book dealer. So we're going to be giving away some of these Batman Beyond the White Knight cover A's, which were hard to get for some people. And the secondary market is demanding your firstborn for these. So we're going to give some away.
Okay.
Yeah, because the shortage on them, people are like, oh, we're going to charge more for these and pretend it's because there's an appearance of a brand new Robin for the first time. So it is a first appearance. It is a key book, but it's also a quote-unquote black label, a.k.a. Elseworlds title. So take it for what you will. So now that's, you know how all that goes. So while those comments while those hashtags are collecting, Chris, you want to show off what books you picked up this week?
Yeah. All right. We got a hot minute to do this.
Yeah. Give them time to collect the comments.
All right. Step by Bloody Step, issue number 2. This should be a quick read. There probably is no dialogue in it.
This is definitely a great cover, Jason. Like Sean Gordon Murphy is sick with it.
Speaking of great covers.
Oh yeah.
The Todd McFarlane less Spawn 328.
Oh, that's actually a big deal.
Number 5 of Newburn. Again, Chip Zdarsky, he's not failing at anything he's doing right now, in my opinion.
Excited for him to jump on the Batman main title.
Yep. Rick Remender's Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, this issue 5. 6.
Now, I did read that one digitally.
Okay.
Got a lot of explanation on Sonny in that one.
This beautiful cover done by Arthur Adams of the franchise. I did read this. This is issue 93. This draws a conclusion to this volume that was kicked off by that writer whose name I will not say. Thank God it's over. Let's bring in Zeb Wells, who actually who was at the helm for that particular issue. At first, I didn't understand what did Patrick Gleason do with this cover. After reading that book, I know exactly what this is.
What do you mean?
Cover. This is a new character.
It's not Carnage?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. I like that. It was smooth.
Thank you. That's the Augusta. Never mind.
The Augusta segue.
Yeah, the Augusta College of Segways. This is the 1 in 25.
For those just joining in, throw that hashtag in the chat. Hashtag ABX.
Miles 35, 36. Miles 36. This is kind of an into the Miles verse. I'm looking forward to getting into Iron Fist 2. I thought Iron Fist 1 was interesting. I'm looking forward to what Mark thinks of this.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to hear what Mark thinks about this. This is Shadow War Alpha issue number 1.
I actually forgot that.
Okay.
Store. I read it though. I read it digitally. I read a lot of stuff before the shop opened this week.
I don't like this cover just because I like this current avatar of the green, but this is issue 11 of now 16 for Ron V's The Swamp Thing. Thank God. My read of the week is not Something Is Killing the Children. It is this. This is mind-blowing. Digger Jim, if you're out there, give me an amen. This, I can't wait to talk about this. This is mind-blowing. Boom. My God, if you're not reading DC versus Vampires right now, you are missing out. But I did read the very good Something Is Killing the Children, issue 21, featuring the one-page cameo of the return of Erica Slaughter.
Throwing this out there real quick. There's 33 people in the chat, 22 likes. So hit that thumbs up. Let's at least make that balance out before we spin this.
I got a handful of the Frozen variants. This is the
wow. Is that the die cut?
Yes, the non-bloody, the die cut bloody,
and she's holding her totem behind it, right?
Yes, I will show you that in a second. This is the FOC variant.
Dude, that's wicked.
And the one per store variant where she is indeed holding the totem. And she's all bloodied up.
That's the same thing that's behind it, right? Just without
the die cut. Yeah. The die cut covers up
all in.
And Mark's hot pick.
All in.
From last week was
and
Batman
so
Beyond the White Knight.
Once again, you're welcome. For those if you
DC versus vampires.
If you watch our video though and pick up any books ever based on our hot picks, you're welcome for the past 2 weeks. That's all I can say. I can't remember what I did past that, but the past 2 weeks I feel like it was like
Ghost Rider.
Potential read of the weeks. I don't think I picked Ghost Rider, did I?
Did you or did I? Ghost Rider was picked. I think you. Yes, you did pick it because it was
Ghost
Return
Rider
of Johnny
Blaze,
Blaze,
wasn't it? No, Ghost Rider's this week.
Ghost Rider 2 is this week, but you picked Ghost Rider 1 a month ago.
Oh yeah, a month ago I definitely did.
But House of L. If you don't have a die cut, I'll send you one. If you want one, Legion.
Oh no! I actually put Something Is Killing the Children back.
After it was my review,
I dropped that title. I did read it digitally.
There's the truth.
I put all of my Something Is Killing the Children run up for sale on Pop's Attic, where any books that I sell are sold under fair market value, keeping with the whole trend of Pop's Attic selling comics. It's all going to be like you find it for the best price here. Like we check eBay sold listings, we check what they're selling for, and then we undercut them, and it's fee free. So it's the cheapest you're going to get those books anywhere. And if you find it cheaper, we missed it because we actively try to keep things under FMV because we're not trying to get rich. We're trying to move books.
Taylor, if you do that, our lawyers are going to contact you in the very near future. Just look at them to those guys in Australia. That stopped, didn't it?
I actually watched Two Hot Guys, Two Cool Picks, entirely different show. Appreciate that. Pop, smash that like buttons. And if you are curious what's ever listed on Pop's Attic, the link to that Instagram is in the description of all of my videos. So I'm trying to think what my hot pick this week. I can't remember what last week was. I just remember it was good.
Beyond the White Knight.
That's this week.
No, that was last week. This week just dropped
today. Like the one before that. I can't remember. But anyways, I'm going to show off what I picked up, and then we'll spin this for the these little giveaways. But that Jim Rugg Hulk Grand Design, this was really fun.
Was it?
Really fun. It was just back from issue 1 all the way to issue 300, recapping and doing a synopsis all the way through. And it's drawn in the classic like 60s artwork. It's really cool. Silver Surfer Rebirth number 3 dropped. Ghost Rider number 2, which it feels good to have a solid Ghost Rider series.
It's a great cover too, Mark.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's my boy Cale New. I don't know what it is. I just love his artwork. He's solely responsible for me still reading Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target because that halfway point I was about to drop that series and they came out with that gorgeous B cover. But Hulk number 5. And you wouldn't believe it, but I have multiple copies of that because from the point of Titan showing up till his first full appearance, I will have multiple copies of that whole gap there.
Well, there's lots out there to pick from.
Yeah, Batman Beyond the White Knight number 1. I'm so happy to be back into Sean Murphy's Batman White Knight universe. War for Earth 3 wrapped up this week. Frustrating. Aquaman number 2 by what's his name? Chuck Brown. This is really fun. And Swamp Thing number 11 of 16. So that's actually the return for the second volume. It's technically the second volume. Even they extended the numbers for it. And then I read Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. I read Something Is Killing the Children. And probably some more digital stuff because I always forget. But I definitely read those 2. that you pointed out. So if you're in the chat and you have not already put hashtag ABX, go ahead and throw that in there, because by the time I get the share screen, we're just going to spin it. Share screen, Chrome tab. I want that wheel of names. No, I don't want the wheel of names. I want the giveaway tool. The wheel of names is for that giant $500 box of stuff.
Make sure that you hit the like button, everyone, please. This
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna
Mark.
like
This is Mark doing what Mark does best, giving away stuff. And let's support him. Let's hit that like button.
Dark Ages ending was disappointing. Yeah, I stopped reading Dark Ages after 4 because it just really wasn't hitting.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
gave up on 4 as well.
But like I think I mentioned it last Wednesday or something. I plan on just now that it's all out, just kind of reading straight through it. Yeah, I hope Flo isn't here as well. But I hate to tell all the channel members, Flo is a channel member entered
Yes.
to win.
Flo has every right to win.
Odds are stacked against everybody. If Flo wins this, that'd be like $1,000 worth of wins in 1 week. So let's hit this. We got 32 entries, around that many people in the chat, so that's close enough. Let's go ahead and spin it. And I'm not going to do a second hashtag. We're just going to spin it twice for 2 winners. And and if you live on the other side of the world, you're SOL.
Boom.
Vincent McLean, the comic machine dude. I just told him we were over on Panda's channel. I said, come over here, win this book. He said, I love that cover. I said, you'll love the story even more. Vincent, my man, you got that first one. Let's spin it again to see who the second winner is. Oh, Christ, here it is. Draw again. I'm glad that was easy. So the second winner is going to be
boom.
Shawty Bay 23. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Awesome. So be sure to hit me up on Instagram and message me with the details of where to send that book to. The Instagram link is in the description to all my videos. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Congratulations to Shawty and Vincent McLean, the comic machine. That's awesome.
Is it McLean? Are we sure it's McLean?
It rhymes with machine. We talked about this.
I know.
Vincent
still,
McLean,
I look at it and I still think McLean. The comic machine.
Machine. He's got that machine. So we'll be doing the big giveaway for the Legion loot box, that $500 approximate value giveaway here in just a little bit. But I want to talk about some comics first. So Chris, Chris, what do you want? Where do you want to start? Start with that Spider-Man, because I don't pick up Spider-Man. I attempted to do it and that just didn't resonate. So I just felt bad.
I'll be brief with this one. I know sometimes I can trail off when it comes to the franchise. Long story short, the Beyond Corporation has shown Ben Reilly that there's major holes in his memory or whatever, but the fact is it doesn't matter. He's just a clone, and he's taken it personally to the point where he can't function at all. He can't, like, Janine's turned her back on him at this point. So the Beyond Corporation has come up with this like mind cap thing, and if he can get Peter to put it on, well, then he'll get Peter's memories, and then he'll be able to move forward with Peter's memories as his own. White Shadow sometimes. Anyways, yeah, see, I'm just okay. I'm just sorry. I'm just used to saying I went to school with a guy named McLean. It's spelled it McLean, but I get it. All right. Long story short, Peter says there's no way that he's putting on some sort of cap to take his memories from the Beyond Corporation. Ben doesn't like it, so they get into a heated brawl or whatever, and hero versus hero, and in the end, Peter says no and bests him, and Ben can't deal with it, so he kind of takes his own life. He falls down into this pit of goo that's inside the Beyond Corporation. And what does the Beyond Corporation do? They literally drop their own building on top of Ben. And that's the end of that's the long story short. That's it.
Just leave you hanging, or is he presumed dead?
He presumed dead till we get to the final couple pages. I'll actually, because it's such a grand reveal, I'll actually show it here. Peter moves on with his life. Somehow Janine has got the corpse of Ben and found the corpse that's in the twisted rubble, and somehow, because of the goo that he fell into, he awakens, and she takes him to her place. And months later, Ben finds himself in front of the mirror, but what he sees is not his own reflection, even though you can tell here that there is a reflection, but what he sees is something different. So he decides to put a new style of mask on.
Oh, that's him on the variant.
And slowly this mask kind of grows how the symbiote would, but it's not a symbiote. It's something that's of this planet, I would say, at least. And Ben has now turned into Chasm.
That's a wicked suit.
Yeah, so he looks really good there. Yeah. And
that's so better than that Boomerang Spider-Man suit that they did or whatever it was, for sure.
Right. So this is what happens to Ben in the end. He does end up with Janine, and what happens to Peter is him and MJ are kind of working things out. The comic explainer. That's
seriously good info for us not following completely.
A Beyonder type shows up as they're about to start their morning and says to Peter, and I quote, "A road of blood led to you. Come with me." And as Peter says, "Who are you?" he gets taken away in a blinding flash of light. It kind of reminds me of the Beyonder. I'm sure it's not the Beyonder. I know Taylor Winder joked it's probably Mephisto, but
it reminds me of the one above all. You remember how Immortal Hulk finished out and stuff? Like that's just kind of
it wouldn't surprise me if it's the one above all. Obviously Peter is the franchise character, but it was okay. It was a good ending, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. It didn't take much to improve on what most of this particular volume was. So to have a handful of creators, I know Zeb Wells, Kelly Thompson, Jed McKay, and a handful of other writers came together to come up with the Beyond Corporation saga and spotlight Ben and hurting Peter from the UFOs and having Peter slowly come back to strength. It was a good story. Is what it is. Now we have an interesting character in Chasm, but the best part of that whole arc, I'll have to say, is probably the introduction of the Queen Goblin. And
next issue is the reveal of Gasm.
Gasm,
white goo foaming from him.
Right.
And, I like the green energy. I did like the look of the suit.
He looked really good. Like I was saying, I think the best part of this, the whole Beyond Corporation saga that was basically 20 issues or 25 issues, was the introduction of the Queen Goblin. I like the fact that she was lean, mean, and yes, she was incredible as a villain. I hope they don't drop the ball with her. I hope it's something that they visit frequently with her. And we'll see where Ben's new character Chasm goes, if he's going to be friend or if he's going to be foe. Personally, I hope that they make him into a villain, because he was essentially a villain for most of this issue, with his utter jealousy towards Peter and Peter not giving up his memories so that Ben could have, something to fill the voids and what he feels is his life. In the end, he's just a clone. Kill him off. I don't care. Bring in Kraven the Hunter.
Have Kraven kill him, or
have Kraven punk him off.
Kraven show up and
throw him into a chasm. Toodaloo.
Have him going through the same crap he was going through back in the Death of Spider-Man stuff, or Kraven's Last Hunt. Have Kraven show up wearing the symbiote suit.
Yeah, but like I said, it didn't have to take much to have a decent Spider-Man story from where we were, 6 months ago. So. The interiors were good. The covers have been beautiful by Arthur Adams. On to JR, and Zeb Wells. Bring on the new volume. This will be nothing but a bad memory anyway.
No. Well, the first book that I would point out is absolutely not DC's franchise, but it's none other than Aquaman. This is the little event inside Aquaman pages they've been building up to with Aquaman the Becoming miniseries and the Black Manta miniseries. I did not finish those series off. I didn't finish off the Becoming yet, and I haven't started Black Manta, but I decided to go ahead and jump into this. It's been pretty cool. You pretty much have a bunch of people getting activated, almost like the MK Ultra program, but people are getting activated, going violent and exploding. You have Arthur working with Black Manta trying to solve the case, and Jackson completely unwilling to accept that and is going to Atlantis and behind Arthur's back ahead of them to try to see if there's anything going on with Arthur, if he's been acting weird, why he would potentially be working with Black Manta. And he's kind of called the Aqua family together to try to get to the bottom of it. But I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. Straightforward.
Who's the creative team on that one, Mark?
It's Chuck Brown. Okay. I don't know who's doing the rest of it, but Chuck Brown's the writer on it. Something Thomas is doing the art. The art's definitely decent. The colors are awesome. Whenever you get stuff with like Atlantis and all that, you get some decent colors, and it's just a good world design and everything.
Was it Aqua Fresh?
Yeah. Yeah, but I've enjoyed it.
All right, let's talk about something that we both read. Let's talk about Something is Killing the Children.
Go for it. Take off.
It was good. I know Taylor Winder's going to be like,
say it like that?
It was good. It was so much better than the last arc.
Well,
I know that you had trouble with the last arc, and I know that you like poking holes at the whole franchise that it is.
Yeah, but taking all the goofy crap out of it, I've been saying that I was not a fan of that second arc because it was forced. The first arc was extended past its original concept.
I thought it delivered though.
And I was about to say, even though the pacing shows that it was stretched, but it delivered as a great story. It had that small town feel to it and everything. And I've been saying I want to get back to this small town monster hunting stuff, and that's what we're doing with this. And my only criticism of this issue could possibly be that this is just a remake of issue 1 of the first issue. That's my only potential criticism, but that's really not necessarily a bad thing because I want to get back to that. But at the same time, as I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, we got to get past we have to get past our stereotype setup.
What happened?
The stereotype setup should be the same for every story arc. If that's how the style is going to be, it's where it goes from here that should differ. So I thought that was cool how it ended with Erica showing up like, hey kid, you need some help. I'm like, now it's starting. So here we go.
I know Taylor Winder again. Oh yeah. See right away. It was a great story. The first damn time he told it, it was okay. So we have a young child that's going through some stuff. Just by looking at the child, you can tell that this child is out on their own, is being different from the norm. Chooses to cut their hair differently, look different, the whole 9 yards. But the story starts off where the event has already happened. That I'm presuming I'm going to say it's a girl. That her family has been wiped out. That her mom, her dad, one of her siblings, and most importantly, her grandmother.
Grandmother too.
The grandmother, and they really focus on the grandmother. And it looks like it. Mark, did you get the flavor that it happens inside like their own store, like their own, or was it their home? I kind of thought it was like a store of some sort.
I can't recall. I assumed it was their home. I read it again. I read it digital, and like with the way that what's his name, Weathers. What's the artist's name? Whoever the artist is, whatever his name is.
Deladera. Yeah.
Werther.
So Taylor's trying to wrap it up. Kid seeds monster, kill a bunch of people, Slaughter shows up, rinse, repeat.
Yeah,
it's not quite that way.
Yeah, it definitely.
A detective shows up that the kid has no respect for whatsoever. Yeah. So I don't know if this is like a Dewey set from the world of Scream.
I got the vibes that the kid is, the kid is obviously close to the bartender. They might as well be family, and obviously the bartender and the law enforcement officer have potential history as well. So who knows why she has problems with the officer. I'm just going so far as to assume because it's trendy to have the whole F you to the police for some people. I got those vibes from it. Like it's just was taking the trendy vibe. Like you said, you had to assume that this is a girl because the way that it's illustrated. So you got the dyed hair and the F the police mentality. Like she's saying all this, but she's not even smart enough to realize that she wouldn't even need a lawyer. That's not what was, she's not like, you're not being asked questions about committing the crime, but like, we're like, help. We're both scared right now. Like, so she was actually really stupid. Like the character was next level dumb to the point of being a little frustrated.
Immature. Like this is not a grown up. This is still a child that we're talking about. It looks like someone that's 12 or 13 or 14. You know, Erica
Yeah,
needs
for
this
sure.
Scooby Gang. I thought it was a good foundation piece. A different town, different flavor. Everything seems to be centralized around the bar. So I'm presuming a lot of that's going to probably happen here, whereas the last one in Archer's Peak centralized around the school. So we may have more adults play into this, even more so than what was in Archer's Peak. I thought it was good. I thought the fact that the detective was trying to insert himself as some sort of alpha male, clearly when he wasn't working out for him. And in the end, the kid
He
kicked the
bashed him in the
stool
face.
out from where he was sitting at
Hit
the
his
bar,
face on the
and he
bar.
banged his face onto the bar. And I thought that was comical. But he
Yeah,
managed to keep his
I
cool
do
about
want
the
to
whole
point
thing.
out that, like, the people that complain about artwork and the way faces are drawn, which is
Mhm.
it's a normal criticism of artwork. Some of the worst artwork I've seen in comics in a while were inside this book with some of the faces. To the point that I was about to
Spider Shadow
screenshot it.
still is up there.
I was going to screenshot it and save it for when people complain about JR's faces and his interior works. I'm like, no, here you go. Or when people wanted to complain about Superman, son of Kal-El with some of the background faces, nope, here you go. These are foreground faces. There you go.
But anyways,
overall, I'm happy that we're back to small town monster hunting. So
Mhm.
I'm forgiving the formula repeat, because it on some level it should be the same formula. It requires a child because we have to have the child to manifest the monsters. It requires a massive act of violence. I don't want to start off before the event. I don't want to trudge through an issue of showing me who this kid's family is and getting to like them just to kill them at the end of the issue. That'd just be a waste of an issue. So that said, what matters is what happens from here forward with this arc, if it'll deliver or not.
I think it's going to come down to, we're going to find out the story of this girl, what her family, maybe her family had a part of or whatever, why she manifested this monster. But this monster is nothing like what we saw in Archer's Peak. This is something totally different, so much so it looks like it has a human avatar. And I'm just going to show this. The monster itself, the shoulder on what appears to be this person here, separates to show a mouth and teeth, and inside that mouth and teeth is an eye. And the girl that we're talking about is here. She freaks out.
Yeah, and so real quick, I was talking about this, and this is what I was about to get out when I was pointing out. I read it digitally, and however you say, Werther Candy's layouts, like they're atrocious. Like they're like I don't know what it is about me. Like the whole panel to panel telling of a story matters a lot, because like you get into a groove of reading a comic book and it makes it flow well. Some people are better at it than others. Werther's very horrible at it and wanting to do these 2-page layouts, and there's no consistency to following it. So there's a lot of having to stop and which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which is frustrating for sure. That's been one of my main criticisms of the series since I really started reading.
A lot of people struggle with it, but there's usually always two of those 2-page layouts where you got to read entirely from left to right across both of those pages. And in the end, the girl gets out of the bar, runs away from the detective, the bartender, which kind of seems like a hybrid sister kind of person. And that's when we have the return of normal age Erica Slaughter. Just on the final page alone, that's it, is when Erica shows up and says to the girl, "Hey, want to talk?" And I think the monster here looks sinister as hell, even better than what it was in the first arc. I'm really thinking that this girl manifested this monster because something has happened to her, and we're gonna find out what happened in the end.
So to answer your question, Jason, it should be down there near the subscribe button. Sometimes it's different and doesn't show up on people's phones. You might have to check a laptop or whatever, but typically it should be a blue button that says join that's next to the subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
But to add to DJ Link's point, absolutely.
You have to be the click commander to find it.
Yeah. It's fake. Oh my God. Apparently it's going down at scripted, not fake. So apparently the Jackass crew has rolled in on one of the wrestlers at WrestleMania. I told Vincent to keep me updated with what was happening during it, because he's watching.
I thought he was talking about something that's killing the children.
No, it wasn't. Like Johnny Knoxville had a match tonight, and apparently they one of the big surprises, they rolled out a lot of the other cast.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and move on over to hot topic for me personally, Donny Cates' Hulk run. And this is issue number 5. This is the issue before we get to Titan, who's been happily solicited by retailers everywhere as the Hulk version of Knoll. And of course they would say that. But so I started reading this issue, and we have Bruce Banner going through the cosmos. He ran into another Bruce Banner, a mad scientist type that has been gamma experimenting on his own world in the multiverse, where he's made all kinds of Hulk mutates, gamma mutates. Thunderbolt Ross is not one of them. And he rolls up on this Banner, gets him, starts beating him up, wanting information about who this new Hulk that's shown up here is, and starts throwing the full weight of his army. And his army consists of a lot of other gamma-powered people under his control, a bunch of abominations, if you will. But he also threw a giant Titan-sized Gamma Spider-Man at Hulk. And they've been duking it out since the last issue. And we see inside of Hulk's subconscious, we see him piloting Starship Hulk and revving him up a few more notches. We also see him having another scene where he's talking to Betty inside of his own head, which I have to remind you, this is just another version of himself talking to himself. You know, she's not physically in there with him. And she ends up kicking him out of the pilot seat, revving it up to full, takes out the Spider-Man completely. So I'm assuming that this is a version of Titan, whatever he is, the entity that's probably hidden even deeper down in his psyche. But where it lost me, like it really had me. I was really starting to enjoying it because this was finally an exposition dump of his motives. It was all just done in narration bubbles, but this is what I've been asking for. We've been getting all the mindless action without any of the motive that drives the story. It's been completely hollow. And I saw one ridiculous large channel that runs a shop and has a channel, I won't say their name, Comics Elite, who actually reviewed it and said he loved it because if I was a 7-year-old, I'd be eating this up. He literally said you have to be 7 years old to like it, and that's why he loved it. I'm like, this makes no sense. And that's the best way I've heard why I don't enjoy it summed up. Because I'm not 7 years old. You have to give me substance with my books. You can't just have two people just, you have to explain why that's happening, you know, like, so it started. It started, well, no, I'm putting these sets together. They're going to end up being, if these books pop off, they're going to be great to be able to give away to people. Like they have gotten them cheap and to give somebody something of value. But
it's not even as good storytelling as what the introduction of Null was.
No, and that was so good because it was so drawn out. That's why it had to be people. And this is just getting straight to it. But to get the what is it? God, what do I even call it? Exposition dump of his motives, I started like, all right, there we go. We're starting to get it. So now this is actually a decent issue. It's gotten action. It's gotten story plot building. That's actually kind of, you can now look back at stuff and give it some meaning. But then you get to the end where he shoots freaking eye lasers out of his face. Shoots eye lasers. And I'm like, God, no. So just when you start to balance your book, you just take it to the next level. And I'm like, this is like, I'm trying so hard to take like the normal idea of Hulk and put it on a shelf and read this for what it is. But it's too what if for a non-what if Hulk title that is very difficult. Sure, there's action in it, but that's all it's got. That's not what makes a good Hulk book. That's what makes an action scene.
So let's talk about a good Hulk book then. Let's talk about grand design.
Well, do you have anything to add to that, or is that pretty much covered?
It's a hot mess. It's a garbage from the first page. You slam it forward to take on the Iron Man Corp, if you want to call it that, all the Hulkbusters, and now, you know, to do something else, you only took it halfway through for something that's considerably more important, or that's not of Earth.
5 issues later, we're doing the same
and
thing.
Then now Betty Ross is slamming it all the way down, trying to hit 88 miles per hour. You know, it's garbage. It is. It's garbage.
It's rough. Perfect review. Hulk is like kids banging their toys together. I'm so glad I stopped reading the Hulk. Every time I hear someone try to describe an issue,
your dad just said the right thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like I think I honestly described it well. Titan is going to be one and done. I believe so too. Best case scenario.
Null.
Best case scenario is he just gets added to the shelf. You know, you have Devil Hulk, you have Joe Fixit, you have Savage Hulk, you have Banner Hulk, you have World War Hulk, World Breaker Hulk, and now you add Titan to the shelf. Because when it all comes down to it, if this is another deeper entity in his mind, that's capable of controlling him, because that's the only time that we've seen Titan is when we're inside of his mind so far. So he has to be inside of his mind. It's not an exterior entity. Though the way it's going to end is with Bruce, some woo-saw balancing and overcoming it mentally. That's and the fight will probably take place in his dreamscape, where we're seeing a lot of the action take place.
A la Freddy Krueger, a la Nightmare on Elm Street. We
Yeah,
saw
which
this when Wes Craven did this 40 years ago.
Now, the action sequences are great. They really are. I'm not going to shortchange
the interiors are beautiful too, right?
Yeah,
Ollie is a magnificent artist, but still.
But I need more concept and content and some purpose to it.
Garbage.
You want to touch on a good one, you said?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you said a good Hulk book.
Yeah, well, I've heard it's good. I haven't read it.
Yeah,
dude, Chip said
all
it was
that
really
can
good
really
too.
be said about it. It's just a recap of issues 1 through 300. The artwork is intentionally drawn in the style of the 1960s, and as you go through, that's a perfect page to flip through. So as you go through it, it's complete Easter egg central. So like when it gets to the point, another dose of gamma rays separates Hulk and Banner, and it's represented by the cover of Hulk. What is it? 340.
Dale Keown's work. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just Easter egg city all through it, just like that. Like it's absolutely fantastic. You get all kinds of cool stuff. You turn the page to represent when he finally gets his own TV show. You get a full page splash, and then onto the next story or onto the story, and it's just really cool. And if like when you get to the point when She-Hulk's in there, and it is telling a narrative based story all throughout it. But dude, this was really fun. You really just get drawn into it. But they had a good time with it. I'm trying to find another iconic little shot. Like there's Tales to Astonish 93 and 90, 91, 93, when he fights Abomination for the first time, and when he
Silver Surfer
for the first time, and they cross
takes the board. Yeah.
It was really fun, man. I had a blast with it. It's only a 2-issue thing. It's Hulk Grand Design Monsters and Hulk Grand Design some other name. They're not numbered. It's just 2 one-shots that are going to make up this whole thing. Let's see what Chip said about it. Love that Hulk. A fun trip down memory lane, or a good way to learn about the adventures of Mr. Hulk.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what you got, brother?
My read of the week, and still my favorite read of this year. And it's not even close. It's light years ahead of everything else that I've been reading. I'm going in depth on this one, so White Shadow, feel free to.
This is the only way I keep up with it, guys. So
feel free to take a shot. Okay, so from the fallout from the last event where the Bat family took on a bunch of rogue vampires, Green Arrow and Batman escaped the clutches of Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, who are vampires, and Green Lantern is the one that I basically was guessing is the leader of the vampire, the king of the vampires kind of thing. And then Tynan has kind of been setting it up where when he brings in the Suicide Squad, that they're hunting the Joker, who they feel is the king of the vampires. Anyways, page 2 goes right into the action of the Suicide Squad, where there's only 3 members who are not vampires.
Wait a minute, Mark. The Suicide Squad's in it now?
Yeah, baby.
What is
and King Shark, and man, the interiors are just magnificent. Let me tell you, this is just
that looks like Simone DeMeo.
It's Rosenberg, Matthew Rosenberg. Is it Matthew? I hate getting people's names wrong. Yeah, Matthew Rosenberg does the interiors. Oh, or is he at the helm? Yeah, Simone DeMeo. You are correct. But yeah, so
that is DeMeo,
right? So the splash page,
Squad and Simone DeMeo. So I might have to just pick up that issue.
So Deadshot, and Harley, and the dude with the real big orange sideburns. I'm not sure who that character is.
Real big orange sideburns.
Right. I'll show you a quick close up of him. That dude right there.
Oh, that's Captain Boomerang.
Oh, it's Boomerang. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're the 3 that are not infected, that are not vampires. So King Shark actually is a vampire. And it goes that Harley reaches out to Amanda Waller and says, we need help because Batgirl has shown up to help out as well, but they're being overpowered by the vampires that are there. And Harley says, Amanda, dear, this is Harley. We need some help. Everyone else on the team has turned into vampires. Well, Amanda Waller says, who is us? And she says, me and Deadshot. And all of a sudden, heads start exploding that are vampires. Boom!
Oh, nice.
Off goes King Shark. Is it Killer Croc? Yeah, another head goes off. And then Captain Boomerang says, hey, Quinn, shouldn't have you told her that I'm not a biter? Boom! Off goes his head too. So Boomerang is dead. And Harley says, oh, I forgot he was here. And
Nice.
so it's just at that point, it's Batgirl, Harley, and Deadshot that are standing there, and Harley says, "Yeah, we'll just keep that between us girls." Then it flashes to where the Bat family is, and basically they say, or the two Robins are talking and say, "I think we're safe. The sun's about to come up," and Batman says, "No, we're still going to get attacked." And literally, two knocks show up at the door, and in walks Green Lantern and Wonder Woman, and they all immediately go into fight mode. Batman, his son Green Arrow, Nightwing, and Jason Todd, but Green Lantern just basically says, "Listen, we're here not to fight. We're just here to turn you into vampires." And it goes sideways from there, where Batman says no, and then they begin the battle. And again, Wonder Woman goes after Batman. We all know that Batman always says the one person that he wouldn't want to fight, the one that he doesn't think that he could handle, or the one thing he doesn't think that that he can control, is Wonder Woman. And thank you, Chip. I appreciate that. And she immediately gets him in the lasso of truth. And basically, he ends up revealing what the grand scheme was. The entire room is about to become illuminated in UV lights, and that starts then to break down Diana. Batman, in turn, then lassos her up, and then Jason Todd and the rest of the Bat family begin to work on Green Lantern. But the Green Lantern actually flips them around, and he has a big coil, like a big snake, tie up all of the Bat family right here. But there's just one member of the Bat family that Green Lantern talked about, and that is the most elder of them
Alfred.
all. And it's Alfred. And Alfred shows up with an axe painted yellow and cuts off the Green Lantern's arm that has the ring. It was so good. And immediately, the spell that the Green Lantern has on them disappears, and Green Lantern's stuck under the UV light looking at his cut off arm. And then it flashes back over to where the Suicide Squad is, along with Batgirl. And the Suicide Squad starts to talk about, well, we're here for one thing, and that is to find the Joker. And Batgirl's like, even with these vampires going on, and Deadshot says, well, this is what Waller has us doing right now. And he goes to lean on a door, but the door kind of collapses, and he falls through, only to find the body of the Joker completely drained of his blood there. And then that's where Batgirl says, well, if he's not the Vampire King, who is? And that's when we flip back to where the Bat family is, where Green Lantern and Wonder Woman are slowly baking to death. And there's a face-to-face between Green Lantern and Green Arrow. And basically, Batman says to everyone, let's get going. We need to escape before these two get out of where they are. Wonder Woman is resilient. And Green Arrow steps up to Green Lantern and says, I'm doing this for you, my brother, and I'm doing this for Barry, who is also my brother. And stuck an arrow through his heart, killing off the Green Lantern. And Batman then starts to snap at him like, why would you do that? And Green Arrow turns around and says, talk to me when you've had to put one of your own people down, then if not, then shut your own damn mouth. And begins to walk away. And you can tell in the background that it's still nighttime out. And Batman is quite nervous about stepping outside. And this is where this book went from 25 miles an hour to 88 miles per hour. And you see some serious, I'm not going to swear because I know this might be on in the Augusta Book Exchange. Batman turns to the Bat family and says, after saying, is everything okay? He says, yes. She thinks she knows where the Joker is, but she is coming here. And this is when the Vampire King reveals himself and kills Batman.
It's Nightwing.
Nightwing sticks his hand through the back of Batman, showing his heart to Batman as he begins to collapse. And that's when everything literally goes upside down. Yes. So not only is Superman brainwashed under hypnosis, the other most intelligent person is now dead. Batman is gone. It turns out that it's Nightwing that is the primary villain, not the Green Lantern. And they all
Chris.
Yep. Oh, Jason figured it out.
Figured it out. He said he never could figure it out, but he has figured it out. We've got a new channel member to the Legion. Welcome to the Legion. Plenty of room. Come on inside. There you go.
No vampires in this one, I promise.
No.
I hope not. Congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
The one thing that Mark and I can agree on is that Dick Grayson is fantastic when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. It is very difficult to get close to land a punch when it comes to land a punch on Nightwing, and the entire Bat family tries, and they all collectively fail. Damian steps in close, and in the end, Damian falls too. He literally fell at the feet at Nightwing when he tried to make a move, and Nightwing says, I can do all things that you can do, but still be so much better than you, and literally crushes his head under his foot.
Whose head is that?
Damian.
Oh, man. Where's Jason? He's not dead, is he?
So, no, Jason Todd's here. He gets roughed up a little bit. Batwoman gets her arm broken and snapped off. And Green Arrow takes one final shot and lets 2 arrows fly at Nightwing. And, of course, Dick catches them before it can hit him. And the story goes from there.
Yeah, I really want to read this now. This sounds like it. What issue is that?
This is 6.
6. So it took 6 issues.
I'm sorry. Who's the other Robin? Damian and who?
Damian, Tim, Jason.
So that was Tim that got his head crushed, because the next page, Damian is rushing at him, and when he jumps at him, Nightwing simply steps aside, grabs him by the neck, and bites him.
Who do you bite? Jason?
Damian.
There's so many Robins. There's so many different Robins.
So he bites him, and while this is happening, Alfred and Green Arrow are trying to escape via boat in the middle of the night, and Green Arrow has Batwoman in his arms, and Jason hands the body of Batwoman to Green Arrow and turns around and says, I have to try. And that's basically where we have this fantastic hand-on-hand combat happen between Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, who is the
there's multiple artists on the inside of that book, because that's not Simone DeMeo right there.
Right. So they go hand to hand, and in the end, Todd betters Nightwing. Nightwing falls on a stake, and it comes through his shoulder, missing the heart.
Yes. Where's Burke right now? Where's Burke?
So Jason Todd betters Nightwing.
Yes.
I can show you right here. As you can see in the bottom by my little finger that's moving, There's a stake coming up through Nightwing that just misses a heart. But there is
Okay.
one character that I mentioned that was tied up that Batman was concerned that she may get free. And that's Wonder Woman, who bites Jason Todd from the rear, not in the rear, but from the rear. And and that's it. In the end, they decide, Wonder Woman and Nightwing, as they deal with a messed up, bloody Jason Todd, that we're going to turn you into a vampire. And Jason Todd, swears and said, no way. But in the end, the Green Arrow sends an arrow over, killing Jason Todd, thankfully, before he had a chance to turn. And then Nightwing and Wonder Woman turn to the boat and says, doesn't matter, let him go. Everything is about to end tonight anyway. And as they say that, we see the Man of Steel destroying the White House. We see Firestorm unleashing hell.
Who's left to really stand up to him? Are they going to have to outsource for this, do you think?
Here's your team.
Oh, yes. Dude, I'm about to have to pick this up. They're bringing in the Justice League Dark. We got Constantine, Dr. Fate, Swamp Thing. You can't.
So we have Steel is there as well.
Yeah, that's not formidable though. He can't stand up against Wonder Woman.
So Steel's there. Supergirl is still here.
Okay.
The final panels is Nightwing turning to Wonder Woman as the boat gets away from where they were, and it says, "The world is ours. Eternal darkness has begun. We've blotted out the sun."
Okay, Leonidas.
My read of the week. Read this book. It's so good. Tynan is delivering.
Yeah. You've been screaming.
Are so much fun though.
You've been screaming its praises, and I couldn't agree more about the Elseworld thing. It's just fun to take these familiar characters and play them in a way that's completely brand new and not beholden to anything else. I love it. I was so jaded from Tynan.
I get it. And Mark, you have every right to be. I know the Batman volume was terrible. The last volume of Something Is Killing the Children, you didn't like it at all. So I understand that, you have your reservations, but
you just named the Suicide Squad, the Justice League Dark, Jason Todd beating up Nightwing. It's like a bunch of my favorite things about DC Comics all in that one issue.
He is not afraid to pull the trigger. We've lost the Flash. We've now lost Green Lantern. We now have lost Batman. Superman is under hypnosis. I'm hoping the Man of Steel can somehow come out of it. Wonder Woman is.
Where's John in all this?
Jonathan Kent is not showing up yet in any way, shape, or form. And Pops, you're welcome, my man.
Yeah. That's the point of this show. Austin LeMay says it all the time. I don't need to buy a lot of DC. Mark will read it for me.
It is. I for those of you, again, if I went too long, I'm sorry. This is just a book right now I'm very passionate about. I'm really enjoying it right from issue number 1.
Yeah, we've gone in great detail on every issue of it so far.
It's been so much fun.
And this was the halfway point. That's issue 6. It is a 12-issue event, so it makes sense for them to kind of go big in this 6th issue. Are they doing a break? Do you know how they?
I thought they weren't. I thought they wanted to. They started it in October for Halloween. I thought they wanted to end it in Halloween this year as well. I kind of thought there was, more weeks than what there should be between issue 5 and issue 6. I kind of felt like this issue should have been out a couple weeks ago, but for a book that's just a normal size comic book, it delivered in every way, shape, or form. Like Amanda Waller showing him and just like, who's a vampire? Button. Bye-bye. Yeah. And we all know. And Mark knows how I feel about Amanda Waller.
And we can perfectly segue into, that's why I wanted to reach inside of the pages of this book right here and choke her out, man. She was just...
She is such a beautiful villain, and I don't mean her visually. She is just the perfect villain.
So just to go ahead, just to segue into War for Earth 3 issue 2, which was the finale to the little crossover event from Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, Flash, and the Crime Syndicate, where Amanda Waller's been working her way up, gathering her team so that she can invade Earth 3, take over, set up shop, and create her own Justice League in a world where she can command them. You don't have to have a Suicide Squad if you take them somewhere else and just let them be the heroes of that place. They're no longer a team of bad guys, but new to their environment. That's what she's been trying to do, and she succeeds. Just straight up, she absolutely succeeds. She bests everybody, and it's one of those things where every time you see them getting to that point, we're like, all right, this is it. They're about to stop her. She has something to say. And when she says it, it completely changes everything about the plan. They get to the point where she's making everyone around her look like the bad guys, like she's the good guy all along. But long story short, Ultraman goes ham, and everyone, Rick Flag sets off Ultraman to go ham because Amanda Waller intentionally moved him elsewhere, off the playing field. And all these teams are fighting. A couple of Teen Titans Academy members get held up hostage, and Waller says basically to the Titans, like, you can have them or you can have this battle, you decide. They're like, well, our main priority is the safety of these kids. Appreciate the invite here, but we got to get these stowaways home. Like, they're not even supposed to be here. Some characters that literally stowed away to even get there. So they had to get some kids out of a fight. Rick Flag, man, his team was doing it and doing it big, and they finally get there to the point where of no return, where it's like, it's one of those moments with, you know, at the end of Watchmen when Ozymandias like talks about his plan and Dr. Manhattan stops trying to fight him. He's like, you know what? You're right. Like, it is peace. I'll leave. It was kind of like one of those moments almost. You're just like, God, just punch her. Please just punch her. Punch her. Talon gets killed. Like, it was rough seeing that happen, but we do know that Amanda Waller intentionally sent her entire team to hell to lock in their souls. Like, she is that evil that she has possession of their souls. Like, bombs in the neck be damned. Like, she has your immortal soul in her control. It's nuts. But by the end of it, and I'll show you the final panel, because this is what she's been working toward this entire time. Like, she's had this big team of people she's been working with, and she promised who we thought was Superboy for so long that was just Brick, the Superboy Bizarro. She promised him that he will be a Superman one day. And finally, on Earth 3, the final words of this entire event. Oh, God, please focus. Amanda Waller has won. Never the end. And you get a shot of her Justice League team with Brick finally getting a Superboy suit. So you have a mixed team of Earth 3 characters. With
who's the Lantern
over there? Say
who's
again?
the Lantern there? Who's the Lantern?
That's Power Ring from the Crime Syndicate.
Okay.
So you have Superwoman from the Crime
Look what
Syndicate.
she did.
Yeah, dude. You have Superwoman from the Crime Syndicate, Johnny Quick from the Crime Syndicate, Power Ring from the Crime Syndicate. You have the Demon from a different Earth. You've got Brick and Noctera from our Earth. Like, she completely did it. So we know that moving past this event, there's only 2 issues left of this run of the Suicide Squad. It ends at 15. So it was almost my pick for this coming week, going in blind, because it's promising to give us a fight between Peacemaker and Bloodsport, which I think will be entertaining, but I don't think there's going to be much actual story substance to it. So it's just going to be a couple filler issues to get us to, because we have Teen Titans Academy and Suicide Squad are 2 of the titles that are kind of lining up with the event that's going to be happening. So I'm sure that moving forward past that, we'll be getting probably a retooling of Suicide Squad, and hopefully focusing on this team, because as much as I hate her, it's, you know, that's proof that it's a good book. It's written well when you have a character that you want people to hate and they're literally frustrated at her. You know, that's done properly. And I think that new team is super interesting. It's a hodgepodge of the Suicide Squad and the Crime Syndicate to make a new squad team. And I'm a huge fan of hodgepodge teams. And the Demon is on the team on top of that. So there's so many elements to that have just got me interested. So I hope we revisit that. Did you get a chance to read The Return of Ron V. Swamp Thing?
I did not.
So I'm not going to go into too much grave detail on this. This is technically the second volume of this 16-issue run. It was originally slated to be a 10-issue series, but DC is doing a lot of these miniseries, gauging how well they sell, and if they do well enough, they'll invite the creative team back for a second volume. This did so well right out of the gate, they didn't even have to wait. They just announced that, like, issue 7 or 8, that
Yeah,
we
it was
will.
after the Ivy arc of that arc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they announced that, dude, this is selling like hotcakes. Ron V is like hitting on something that hasn't been tapped into since Alan Moore. Let's run with it. So they
Mhm.
announced that they'll be extending it to 16 issues. There was a small break. And when I say small, I mean, like, I think it missed 1 month. I think that's all it missed.
Yeah, I feel like it was maybe February, like January, February. We had the last issue.
Yeah, we had Swamp Thing this year already. So
Right.
this is
Yeah,
like,
and that's not Green Hill we're talking about either.
was it
No.
April 1st these came out? What's today? Sunday. So this is technically last month. This is not even an April book. So this is a March book. So this is the second Swamp Thing we've had this year.
Mhm.
So this is season 2 begins here. We get Levi Kamei's girlfriend or female friend that's going to Alec Holland's daughter asking for help because after the events of Levi fighting his brother at the big compound, it's left him in ruins. They don't know where he is. They assume that his essence is in the green, though, so they want to travel to the green to find him. We also see Jason Woodrue working with the same bigwigs of that compound with the body of do you remember the guy that I forget what they called it in the very, very first couple issues, the desert avatar that he fought? It was that creature in the desert that wasn't of the green, and he turned it into a tree, and that's how he stopped it.
Yeah.
They have the corpse of that, and they're integrating it with a real life man, and thus bringing it back to life. They're trying to figure out how to attach an entity to a human avatar like the Swamp Thing, and they bring us that new villain. So we have Levi's girlfriend in the green going to get Levi, and we have the new villain being brought in. So it was done really well, and of course, it's hard to explain what it is that Romney does with these that is so good. The way that he writes it in such a classic Swamp Thing vibe. Like if you've read Swamp Thing in the past, you have this idea, this mindset of how it really should flow and the vibe and the style of the story, like this nice balance of narratives with actual dialogue and diving into these concepts where it kind of tries to be bigger than it really is, and it really does land on a lot of times, and he does that. So it was really good. Hit me with one, Chris. What you got? I only got 2 left.
That's it for me, man. That's it.
Well, here's a quick one. Silver Surfer Rebirth #3. It's just an information dump. It's the halfway point, I believe, for this mini series. It is literally an information dump for Galactus, Silver Surfer, and Thanos. It's kind of just like a small plot progression with a lot of exposition on who these characters are. Almost like if you didn't, if this was your first time picking up a Silver Surfer book, this is the issue that catches you up on the history of the characters. And we also find out who the character is who has control of the Reality Stone that's playing with everything. And it's none other than Apocalypse Light, a.k.a. Tyrant.
Okay. I would have guessed. I really would have. If you would have said, just take a wild guess, I would have said the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
But yeah, that works.
Last book of the week, and I'm sad if you said you're done because this is the one that I don't want to be saying the same thing I said to you for a year about Immortal Hulk. You need to be reading this. You need to be reading Ghost Rider. I saved it for last for a reason. This was up there with Beyond the White Knight. Well, we didn't even talk about that. You did read Beyond the White Knight, didn't you?
I got through it. We can talk about it. Let me just pull it out.
I want to synopsis Ghost Rider where you grab that. Johnny Blaze waking up after the events of the first issue to find himself trying to find somewhere to stay and recoup and think about what's going on to try to make sense of reality again. Since he's just now back in the real world, he's been in that little fairy tale Alice in Wonderland type WandaVision area. But he gets to a hotel to try to recoup, and he asks the owner if he can just odd job around there to make a few bucks, get his way home. And he finds out that the owner is a psychopath murdering guest at the hotel, and finds out that he's murdering them and basically slaughtering them for this monster that's in a tunnel underneath the hotel. And he goes, he waxes on, waxes off, and he's out of there. But a lot more detail, fantastic art, some crazy horrific imagery. And it was very episodic feeling issue, but very, very exactly what I felt like I wanted for a second issue.
Psychological again?
More direct in this one.
Okay.
He's still trying to make sense and understand things. But this one was done more direct, while the psychological angle was the reason for him trying to take a breather and puts him in the location where this story takes place. It was very straightforward. Do not forget about Ghost Rider, Beckerman. Ron B is a master of creating atmosphere. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Shop unfortunately didn't get Ghost Rider. Oh my gosh, but need to read it. Yes. If you did not get it, highly recommend. Like I couldn't recommend it more because that's how much I'm already recommending it. So my blind pick of the week going in is definitely up there with my read of the week. Dude, it probably is my read of the week just because how excited I am to return to the universe of Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight. But this was dope. Super dope. Super well done. Artwork was fantastic. 10-year gap.
Sorry I'm late, Puddin'.
Yeah. Is this your first White Knight?
I read the Harley and I wasn't that in tune with it. The Harley, that was actually a larger book, wasn't it, compared to this one? Was that full size?
I don't think so.
Was it this
the
size?
Harley Quinn is the third volume in Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight universe, and it's also the only volume that he did not actually write. His wife, Katana Collins, wrote it, and I think it was pretty much a placeholder to try to keep the White Knight thing alive while they did this. And on that token, it's not the strong one; it's the weakest one out of them, but it's definitely not wasted material because it focuses on Harley, the dynamic with her children, and her connection to Bruce Wayne, which all comes into play. So it's definitely has its place. It's not just throwaway, but it's not volume one. It damn sure ain't Curse of the White Knight, which is at the moment my favorite. I mean, I hope every one of them is better than the last, but this one takes place 10 years later since the last time we visited the world. Bruce Wayne is still in jail. And we have a new character on the scene who's familiar to Batman fans and comic fans, but he's new to this universe, and that's none other than Terry himself, who's being sent into the roped-off ex-Wayne mansion area to go spelunking in the Batcave, and he takes Batman Beyond suit, steals it, puts it on, and goes for an outing. Batman in jail finds out about this, talks to Jason Todd for a while, who in this universe was the first Robin.
Yes.
And that conversation hit me right in the feels, right in the gut, when he's talking about failing Jason. And in this universe, Jason didn't die. Joker did kidnap him. He tortured him, and he actually gave up Bruce Wayne as Batman. He couldn't help it. And he didn't forgive himself for it and thought Bruce would never forgive him either. And there's this moment, the moment that really got me was when Bruce was starting to talk about how he feels like he failed him too. But because he looked at him like a brother, he thought that they were this, that, and the third. That failed him because they weren't brothers. They were looking for a father. And I'm like, oh man, that's rough. But we find out that Jason Todd is moonlighting as a superhero, and you recognize him as Red Hood, and he has his own Robin, who we don't get a full introduction of. So it is the first cameo of that Robin. And Bruce being in jail, he wants to leave the jail. It shows us that he can leave whenever he wants. He knows how to get out just like that. He's kept himself in there, kind of like Hancock style. You know, he's going to be good and stay. But Jason catches him trying to leave and say, don't mess this up. You're up for parole soon. I'll handle this kind of thing. So I'm excited to see Jason Todd. I'm excited to see Batman Beyond going. And I think one of the little details, if you did read it, how cool were all the shadows and silhouettes through the entire book
of the past.
Yes, of who they
especially
really
that final page.
Yeah, so it was really dope. So when a lot of this book takes place with people out of their suits, you have Bruce, you have Harley, you have Jason, and whenever you see them, there's shadow cast on the wall behind them, showing you the shadow of them in full costume. And even when you see Harley's two children, you see that her daughter, is favoring her dad. So she even cast a shadow of the Joker on the wall. Like, it was just very well crafted.
So Bruce gets out.
Yeah, of course.
Bruce gets out, and as he's, I don't want to say escape, but as he's climbing a ladder, the person he meets at the top of the ladder is the Joker from this universe. But it looks like it's a new Joker. Dead. Yeah, it looks like it's a different Joker. So, it says, I am the Joker. But then the shadow that they cast is Batman literally about to hit the Joker with a wild hair a la The Killing Joke. And that's good. It's good storytelling. It's a good.
That was a big catch, because the Joker was the primary focus in Volume 1. The whole concept of Volume 1 is, what if the Joker went back to Jack? Batman when Volume 1 started, Batman was brutal. No care concern for property damage, bystanders, collateral damage, and Joker somehow was able to come back to his senses and actually put himself out in the spotlight and in the public, and he won over public opinion, making Batman the bad guy. But obviously, we all can understand where that goes.
Right.
Second volume, when Azrael shows up in Gotham for the first time, he actually kills everything. He goes to Arkham Asylum and kills the entire rogues gallery. Joker actually dies, like legitimately dies, not maybe dies. He dies. Harley blows his face off in the tunnels under Arkham in the second volume. And in this, that's why you kind of get the kids getting mad at mom about, like, did you really do that? But so him showing up at the end, like, is this him? Is this just in Bruce's head? I don't know yet. So we shall see. Kenneth Bird is up in the building. What is going on, brother? So real quick, just to recap, let me see if I have this picture here. Yeah. So we're about to be doing the giveaway. You see that? I'm very excited about it. That's my face. We're about to be doing the giveaway for the 4 books from channel sponsor Big Time Collectibles. The We Live brick included in that is all that stuff you see there, white and black. Issue number 1, A and B covers, the free comic book day issue, as well as the volume 1 trade paperback. So that can get you all the way up to current. And yeah, good stuff. So I appreciate all the channel members. If y'all see any names on this board here that you do not recognize, be sure to check them out on Instagram and or YouTube. A lot of these people are content creators or have some awesome pages. And if you have not, please consider joining the channel if you so wish to. At least hit that blue button and read through it and see what it's all about. See if it's something that might interest you. And for those that have joined, I appreciate all you guys. Be sure to use those custom emojis as often as you can, as much as you want, because it does take a lot more effort than you would assume to make them. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. Thank you to the brand new channel members that joined tonight, Warlord and Never Could Figure It Out. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So we're about to draw for this thing. So let's see. I already got the wheel of names up. Let me share this screen. Share screen, Chrome tab, wheel of names. Okay. This
is it.
All right, so yeah, that's showing up. All right, perfect. So everybody in the chat, if you're a channel member, start throwing those Thank you, Dale. Dale's already on it. Start throwing those channel emojis. Let's see them things flying. Who knows? That might even help your chances. But again, thank you to everybody. And be sure to check out the channel sponsor, Big Time Collectibles. The link to their stuff is in the description below. They've just dropped a bunch of awesome stuff recently. They dropped the Spider-Man 2099 Miko Suyon homage to the original Spider-Man 2099 just dropped, which is gorgeous. Miko's got a Batman Beyond Neo Year cover out there, which is an homage to Jim Lee's Batman. Gorgeous. They are constantly dropping bangers, doing mystery boxes, all kinds of cool stuff. And Nelson, the owner, he is one of the most honorable online comic retailer that I know of. Just as an example, Nick's Kicks and Comics, my good friend over there, pre-ordered a Last Ronin number 3 and a 9.8. They sent him a 9.9 instead. They did not decide to keep the 9.9s to sell. They sent all the higher ones out to people as well, just at random. Another channel member, Jeff, aka Hefe, he just unboxed one of their mystery boxes, and he was a grand prize winner. Got all kinds of awesome stuff in it. It was just really cool stuff. BTC, that's them. ABX, that's them. My LCS does not do the online retailing stuff, or I would be pushing the hell out of them on that angle as well. Instead, it's just if you're ever in the Augusta area, be sure to stop by, check them out, say hello to Paul and Donna, and let them know that we are Legion. So let's spin this thing. Enough lollygagging. We're at 28 people in the chat. So the winner of the March Legion Loot box is, it just passed Flo.
Wow.
Nick's Kicks and Comics.
Wow.
Dude, huge congrats to Nick's. So, yeah.
Rigged. Okay, but yeah.
I spun it fair and square, man. So congratulations to Nick's Kicks and Comics. First time winner. He's not commented in the chat yet. I'm guessing that he's walked away from the screen. So He's been dusted.
He's
Nick's
there.
Dusted. I'm just kidding.
Dusted.
Yeah. So congratulations, Nick. Definitely deserves it. I don't know if y'all seen where he's done the round of mystery boxes. I did get one from him.
Me too.
And, yeah, he did too. So smart to everybody that did. I got one from him. I think I don't know if I shared with you, Chris, but I recorded the video days ago. It's unlisted on my channel, and I've shared it with the other people that have bought the mystery boxes already. DJ got one and shared it. It was insane. Like when I got it, I expected just to buy it to support him and just put it all up for sale immediately. 6 books in it total. There's only 2 that I'm even willing to sell. And one of them was one that I was actually talking about all week last Sunday with Ryan. This is the last book that I need and missed. And I had already bought the box and picked the number and everything before we went live for that. So it was crazy. So yeah, do you have any mystery boxes left, Nick? I don't know if you do or not, but
I asked a couple days ago. I think he was down to 5. Nick, you want to give us an update?
Yeah. So if guys like DJ Lynx's was it was like like $150 over value. There Can Be Only Vaughn's was way like they were all ridiculously over. Like even as soon as you see the preview pics for what he was including in the mystery box that he showed you, because they all include a slab in 4 to 6 raw books, and every single one of the slabs in the picture, like you can win one of these slabs plus more. All the slabs are over box value as is. It was nuts. Dusty's more. Keep saying my name during the spin, please.
Yeah, that was.
I think he's behind. I just realized.
Yeah, I think he's behind too. Yeah. Like he still hasn't responded to how many boxes he has left either.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But dude, I appreciate everybody who came in and hung out tonight. I think that will like his as well. Yeah. He just included all yours contains is 1 bottle of American maple syrup, so you should be very happy.
What? Is that a thing?
Look, there's the answer finally.
4. Okay.
He's a good 2 minutes behind.
Yeah.
4 left.
Yeah,
awesome.
Go back out of your phone and then come back in. You'll be you'll be up to speed.
Oh wow. My wife has been messaging me from work because like I told you, she's gonna be there like well after midnight.
Okay.
But she said hey to everybody. She's having a good evening. She's already pulled hundreds of dollars in. Like it's crazy the difference that it makes having like she pulled a
right COVID with Masters aside, Week. Okay.
Yeah, COVID aside, she pulled like a 4-digit shift. Like she can pull 4-digit shifts a night there. It's crazy.
So how does it work? Oh, just a question for backstage. Then I was gonna say, so how does it work with tips? Does she have to split the kitchen or whatever? But yeah, okay. Okay.
Like normally you at most restaurants now you tip out your bussers a percentage of your tips, and you tip out the to-go people a percentage of your tips. Certain Masters, most restaurants like that are not doing to-goes. Their kitchen is running full steam for in-house. They even expand their restaurants. A lot of the places around here will put up the temporary like stand-ups and bring in tables and stuff. So one of her shifts this week, she'll be working what they call a cocktail, where they bring like bar tables and set them up outside around the building and put tent roofs up that normally say like Michelob Ultra or whatever the hell golfers drink, stuff like that. They'll get people to sponsor the tents, which then they're making money on the tents, and it's huge. My LCS only got 5 copies of the JLA via Avengers and raised $1,500 to donate to the Heroes of books. That's
5 copies though.
Yeah.
That's
must impressive. Be a big LCS.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So one local place here, and I don't want to knock anybody for their hustle. I'm sure they have reasons behind it, but they wrapped it up and donated it to a local cancer organization, which is perfectly fine. Like in my mind, you would just like kick it back to the Heroes Initiative, to the cause that set it up. But I think that there's personal reasons that they did it for the local place. So I don't want not being critical of it at all. That just I was like, I wonder why they're not doing that. But I'm pretty sure there's personal reasons that they did it. So yeah, I got nothing else, guys. That's it. And to the winners tonight, be patient with me. I'm going to attempt
back
to
up
get
to speed now.
I'm going to attempt to get I'm going to attempt to get stuff shipped out this week. Again, I'm a crazy work schedule, but I'm going to try to go on my lunch break Tuesday. I'm gonna try like hell to go on my lunch break Tuesday, run to the store and grab my books, and I'll be passing the post office to do that. So I'm going to attempt to box everything up tomorrow evening after work, and we'll see how it goes. I'll try to get it out in the most timeliest of fashion that I can swing. So yeah. Chris, what do you got coming up? Tomorrow's Monday. What are you doing for us, the viewers, the subscribers?
Well, today everyone needs to go check out this whole thing that Mark and I have been doing for I guess over a year now.
Has it been?
Yeah.
We need an anniversary episode.
We do. We should. We just have
we
people
did
come
something
on
for episode 3, right? We did the 3 for 3 on episode 3.
Right. But I don't think we can do like 52
100
for
hot
52.
picks. Here we go.
Every book coming out this week, someone's going to recommend it.
It'll just be an FOC video.
Over the next 2 days, I'm going to release 2 videos. The first one is going to be my favorite 5 covers from the month of March. Books that I actually got a chance to pick up. No,
I don't. And that's why all my stuff sells on his page and not mine.
and Pops retouched me with Something's Killing the Children. And I will be on Tuesday. Nick. Tuesday, I'll be releasing my top 10 Spider-Man covers. You're doing the challenge? The Brian LCS Spider-Man cover challenge. I'm doing mine with a little bit of a twist because I got to be me. And tune in to find out what my twist is.
All Canadian artists, got it. It's all Todd McFarlane.
No.
Okay.
That's a great idea, though. I never thought of why did I just do that?
Did you watch War Machine Punishers that he did in the last couple of days? He threw a personal twist on his. Y'all go watch War Machine Punisher. He entered the challenge as well, and he put a twist to make it unique to him. I mean, it's definitely on brand for what it is, but where his fandom is definitely shows in this as well, and it was very cool stuff to look at.
But yeah, Dale all slabbed. Tune in to see. To see.
It's going to the first 10 issues of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mega flex episode.
Tune in to see. Yeah, I think I'll be dropping that one Tuesday. I think I'm going to do
it for free Comic Book Day next month. It's a big celebration. It's a big celebration in everybody's area. Yeah, April, May. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So COVID's not going to interfere with it this year. That's great.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for it every year. I like to get goofy and go hit all the rounds. When I say all the rounds, it's like I like to hit at least 3 stops. I need to try to make sure that I'm off that day because I want to let the kids dress up. And Monkey's big enough now that she can dress up, put her in her little Frozen outfit that has nothing to do with comics, but she absolutely loves it.
Spider-Gwen.
She doesn't have an outfit for it yet.
Okay.
Finn's got like the muscle suit, Snyder Batman, Spider-Man from the MCU, Superman, like the kids both. Yeah, everyone knows, dude. He loves his cap suit.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because accessories matter. He loves that shield, man. He loves it.
Yeah. Accessories matter.
Yeah, you should come down to North Carolina HeroesCon. So as of today, I booked it. I got the tickets already. Me and Pops got the hotel taken care of, and we're taking a rental car. And so everything's booked.
That's in Charlotte?
Yes, North Carolina. So I'm very excited. Whether we meet a lot of people there, if it's just me or Pops there, either way, I'm absolutely pumped. I know Digger Jim is going.
North Carolina, that's the home of the Tar Heels, right?
I think talking about those dinosaur pits. I think those are in California.
The team, like the school. That's where Michael Jordan went to school, right? Was North Carolina?
I actually know that. I've seen Space Jam.
Was it?
Yeah.
North Carolina? Yes. I've been to North Carolina. I've had a cigar on the campus of that school. When I went to Tennessee, we actually made the drive from the Smoky Mountains over to North Carolina to say that we've been on that campus. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I've had a cigar there.
Did you book the place that you and I had spoke about previously that Jim said he's staying at? I'm going to text Nick the name of it now. If it's that is the place, right?
Coming together like butt cheeks. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that your dad had a trading card. How cool is that?
Did you get one?
Did I? No.
You saw the one
I saw
Ruben
it.
showed?
Yeah, I saw it online. That's terrific. I'm glad that his community did that. That's just a wonderful
Yeah.
thing.
That
Where I
was
grew up in Toronto, they did that for
the second year
firefighters.
they did it. Dude, the
Okay.
whole family's coming in fire.
Wow. Yeah, the community of Toronto, in Toronto where I grew up, they did that for the local fire department, where it would be on one side of the card would be a firefighter, and on the other side of the card would be a Toronto Blue Jays. So yeah, it was really well received, that part of the Toronto. Can I
That's
get one of
awesome.
those, Nick? Nick is saying, can I get one of those in my Legion loot box? Never
Yeah.
mind the Avengers in Justice League. He wants one of your dad's cards.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to Pops about that. If you want your very own official Pops trading card from Shiznit about 30
Look,
years ago
I
now.
was gonna say, it looked like it was about 92, 93
Yeah, it's around
ish.
there. So that, again, like they would what they would do is they would have sheets of them, and they would sell them like promotionally for like fundraiser stuff. Now, like at my work, we have like the magnets thing that they do. They just have like the magnet thing that they try to. It's just like the whole point is fundraiser and something you get for a fundraiser. But there'd be like a sheet with all these cards. You cut them out and stuff. I remember the first years that they did, like how the one you saw had like a dark blue border around it. The ones before were white borders around it. But
It was like he was close to his squad car, I think, is
yeah,
the image that
he's
I
like
saw.
he's
Yeah,
standing at the squad car, the door open
yeah,
with his arm up on it. But the
yeah.
border is like it's like a thin, like almost brass colored line, but the border of the
Okay.
car is dark blue.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him very, very well.
The big boss man.
Look at this. This is cool to think about. The Augusta Book Exchange was his
Wow.
card sponsor. No, seriously,
Holy
like that many years ago. Like, yeah,
What a world we live in.
still waters run deep.
Full circle, baby. Full
Yeah.
circle.
So, yeah. So, man, I've had a good time tonight, dude. It's 10:13. Normally, we're only halfway through the show, and this, man, I like this earlier time frame.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm so tired now. I bet if you
Everyone, enjoy WrestleMania.
I bet if you screenshot me right now and screenshot me at the beginning of the show, my eyes aren't this dark at the beginning of the show.
And probably on that side of the.
Okay,
There we go. Oh, that's more like home. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody popping in, hanging out. Be sure to check out and subscribe to the Comic Vet. And I know he's not here tonight, but check out Ryan New Guy, spelled Nuexgui. He could not make it tonight, but he definitely sends his love. And he's looking at doing some very, very exciting stuff, getting some content in some not expected places about some very cool stuff coming up. So keep you posted on that and let him tell you more about it when he's back on. But until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are, there it is, Legion.